Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy, the GUIDO, and we are back with another interview with characters from inside of the Academy Roleplay server. This interview was really interesting because from all of the other interviews we've done, whenever we talk to someone that played a Leo character, a law enforcement character, they've always said that one of the most notorious criminals in the city was Robin. Well, we got Robin in here, whose real name is Chey, and we just had a really great interview, a really great conversation, and we found out she has a horse. You'll have to hear more about that as well. But it was a blast. I know that you're going to love the video. I'm so thankful for her jumping on here and hanging out with me for a little bit. Before we get to it, though, if you are interested in GTA RP, or maybe you're interested in GTA, a new GTA server, I want to invite you to come in, hang out with us at the Academy. We have a great time. I promise you, you won't want to miss it. There's a link right here that just popped up. You can click that link. It'll also be in the description. While you're at it, why don't you go ahead and hit the subscribe button? Man, I really would appreciate it. It does help me out. It also lets you be notified of when we have new videos that come out. And give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know who else we should interview. What other questions? What are some new questions that we should ask? If you have any ideas, I'd love to hear from you. All right. Hey, let's get to our interview with Chey, aka Robin, and I know you're going to love it. Hey, man, thank you so much for jumping on here. I am excited, and we've been talking about this for a couple of weeks, and so we've been kind of working towards this, and then over the last couple of days, chatting back and forth, and so I appreciate so much you taking some time to jump in. It's really late where you are. It's much later than where I am. Why don't you do this? Why don't you just kind of introduce yourself and all the things, and then we'll jump into the conversations.
Hi, well, I'm Shay. My actual name is Shanique, which is unpronounceable for you guys. I'm 20 years old. I live in Holland with my dad. I have a horse, Baron. Um, and when I'm not gaming or at school, I'm working at New York Pizza or I'm with my friends, going to festivals or parties and stuff.
Very cool. Awesome.
Yeah,
All right. So what's the name of the horse?
Baron.
Baroon. But did I say that right? Baroon. Did I say that right?
Well, it's close. It's close.
I got you. Yeah, I'm from the South, and so we don't say anything right. We mess everything up. So I apologize for that. How
Oh, well, my pronounces are different too, so.
I got you. So we're gonna be, man. Me and you, we're gonna be like peanut butter and jelly. We're just gonna vibe together. I like it. How long have you had the horse? Do you ride it often?
I think I have him for 6 years now. I've been like since a little kid. I was around horses.
Very cool.
Uh, and I got my own horse in the first year of high school, something like that. And I started competitions and stuff, but I have eventually quit it, and I'm just driving around sometimes to the forest or something, but nothing special.
Okay. All right. Very cool. So you said you also worked at a pizza place. Is that what you said?
Yeah, true. Yeah,
All right. Now, are you a pizza maker? Are
a
you like?
pizza maker.
I like
Yeah.
it. All right. So I'm a customer, and I come in. I say, Shay, I want you to make me your favorite pizza. What is that? What is on that pizza?
A buffalo chicken pizza. It's with cheddar and there's three types of cheese around it, and then there's chicken and onions. It's really simple, but it's really good.
That sounds really good. I actually really like buffalo chicken pizza, so I would be a customer of yours. 100%. No hesitation. I'm coming to your pizza shop. Absolutely true.
It's called New York pizza.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. I like it. So, all right, tell me this. So, I asked you before when we were kind of in the pre getting set up, I asked you if you'd ever been to the United States. You said no, that you wanted to. You'd been to a lot of places. All right, so what are some of those places? Where have you traveled to?
Greece, Spain, France, Germany, Belgium, England. I don't know what's it called, like the translation to Oostenrijk, but it's a cold land, like Switzerland.
Okay.
It's next to Switzerland. Yeah. Italy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's it.
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. So now, is that with school? Is that family, or that's just you? Like, I want to just see as much as I can see.
London, Belgium, and the thing next to Switzerland. I've been to with school.
Okay.
Like you're like you have the first week of your year or something, and you go to camp. And the rest I went to with family.
Okay. Very cool. Awesome. Any brothers, sisters, anything
I
like
have
that?
a I have an older brother, Jimmy. He lives with his girlfriend, close by, like 5 minutes away.
Okay. All right. And I think this is interesting, and I want to get into it. But you you told me you said I am not a gamer. I'm not a gamer, but obviously we're here. We're chatting because we play a game. We play a game,
Yeah.
the same game. But you also kind of got into some other games. What are those other than GTA? I know you're not a gamer, but if you were playing a game, what would you play?
Phasmophobia. Even
Okay.
though like I can't play that alone. Like I have to play with somebody else because otherwise I'm gonna cry. I think because that is a scary game.
Yeah.
And I had this game Pico Park, which is like you have to play with 4 people. It's a really stupid game, but it was fun. And there was this game, It Takes Two, which was like it looked like a really childish game, right? But it was quite traumatizing. Not gonna lie. Um, and I have like Ark on my PC, but I've never played it.
Nice. Okay. Very cool. All right. So you said you're hanging out with friends. If you're not in the city, you're not up till 5 a.m. or before you get in the city. What is a day look like for you? What are you doing in a day?
Well, I wake up late.
Okay. Well, that's of
Say
course because you stayed up to 5 a.m.
yeah, say 12, and then I like if once a week I have school or once in 2 weeks, so I don't really have to worry about that much.
Okay.
Um, and most of the time I'm just gonna do something with my friends in the middle of the day, and then around 5 I start working till 8 or 11, and then after that I just fly into the city. Or if I'm not gonna fly into the city, I'm just gonna go to friends and do a little drink or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Awesome. All right. So I've got some would you rather questions. All right. So totally random. I've got them on a question generator. I don't even know what they are, and they may be stupid. If they're stupid, we'll move on. But I'll ask you, and we'll just kind of talk about them from there. So the first one is: would you rather go to the aquarium or would you rather go to the zoo?
Zoo.
Okay. What animal are you wanting to see at the zoo?
Uh, I don't really mind. I like every animal that there is.
Okay. Would you rather be able to speak French or Spanish?
Spanish.
Okay. Can you speak Spanish?
I can ask for a seat and say hello and stuff, but that's it.
Okay. All right. If you went to a restaurant, would you rather sit at a booth or a table?
Depends if you're with family table, but if you're with like friends, do it. But
Okay. What's more important to you, for you to be good to others or for others to be good to you?
I think it's like respect is earned from both ways, right? So I think it should be equal.
Okay. A bike ride or a walk?
A what?
A bike ride or a walk?
A walk. Like in Holland, everybody bikes, right? Uses the bike everywhere. Like you see more bikes than cars. But
Okay.
I really hate being on a bicycle. I just walk everywhere.
I gotcha. All right. All right. Would you rather be Instagram famous or movie star famous?
Um, Instagram famous.
Okay. All right. Would you rather be the funniest person that your friends know or the most trustworthy person that your friends know?
Trustworthy.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Last one. Let's see if we can find a good one here. Would you rather be able to run really fast or jump really high?
Run really fast.
Okay. Because you don't want to ride bikes, and that would help you get to where you're trying to go better.
Exactly.
So do you walk to work?
Yeah, I do. It's 5 minutes.
Okay. So it's really close.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool.
But
Awesome. No, go ahead. Did I interrupt you?
But if I go to school, I have to take the train and then walk like 30 minutes and like then take the train of 45 minutes and then walk 30 minutes again. So,
Oh wow. And you do that once a week?
once in 2 weeks, it depends a bit on like on the teacher that gives me class.
Okay. Awesome. Very cool. All right. So let's kind of change subjects here just a little bit. Um, let's talk about TARP. And that's kind of the whole reason that we're here, and that's kind of our connection point is that. So why don't you tell us how you and I love this story. You told me just a few minutes ago. Kind of tell me how you got involved in TARP. Kind of explain that story. I think it's a really cool one.
So I was watching TikToks and like I said, I wasn't into gaming and stuff, but I mean, I played with my brother once or twice that I played on GTA. And I saw somebody live on TikTok and well, I kind of got invested in it. And then that person stopped streaming. And I knew that Mason was streaming. So I started watching Mason. And then Mason made me mod and I got like a bit more involved with it. And then eventually I had to buy a new laptop because well, my school bag was really heavy with my old laptop because it was like a really big and old laptop.
Yeah.
I thought, why not buy one with a gaming where I can game on? So I did that, and I kind of started playing on GTA first, because online, where I kept dying because everybody was shooting around and doing everything. And then I kind of just like asked Mason like, "Hey, what server are you in now?" And then Mason told me like, "Hey, this server," and I kind of just joined.
Okay. All right. And you actually, your first time in the city was a very interesting time. Why don't you tell everybody your what day? Because if they were here, they'll remember what was your first day in the city.
It was the purge day, so the day that we started the new server was gonna start.
Yeah.
It was really chaotic.
So what are you thinking? So you're getting in, and you're everybody's riding around. If because I remember that night there were firefight like air jets that were flying in, dropping missiles, and there were tanks and like it was a
It was
purge.
worse than GTA Online.
It was absolutely crazy. What are you thinking?
Mhm.
You're like, you've been watching Mother Fluffer play this, and then all of a sudden you're like, yo, this ain't nothing like what I've been watching.
Yeah, it was wild. I was with Ellie, Daya, and Mason in a car, and we drove from Polito to Route 13, and we saw tanks coming by and people shooting each other on the road and
Yeah.
stuff. It was so chaotic, and the only thing I thought was, this is the same as GTA Online.
Yes, yes. I remember the purge. I remember Skittles just kept. He just kept shooting me, and it was partly my fault because I was covered up and he didn't know who I was. And then he was like, "Guy, is that you?" I was like, "Yes." He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry." So yeah, it was a chaotic, but it was a lot of fun. That was a fun night. It was a good way to transition into the new server and what we now know as part of the city. So, all right. So here's an interesting thing. So you come in the purge, and you're figuring out the game. You're not a gamer, and so you're having to figure out like all the all the buttons. Like, how do I walk? How do I?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Mason and I have been in feces, and I was just asking everything like, how do I walk forward?
Yeah,
How do I go right? How do I go left? Like stuff like that. But eventually, I figured it out.
yeah. No, that's great. So all right. So you come in and you're figuring out the game, and so that was then. That was what 6 months ago, something like that. I don't know. And then 5 months ago, and then here we are now. And when people talk about Chey or they mention the name Robin, every Leo character that I've had on for an interview has said that Robin is one of the most difficult, one of the most notorious criminals. So talk me through, how did you get from how asking Mason, how do I walk, to being one of the most notorious criminals? How did that develop?
Well, I kind of like I said, like the first time I got pulled over, I was scared. Like I was like shaking. I was like, oh no, I'm going to jail or something. And it actually went really well. They just like said like, hey, I'm officer. I don't even know anymore. And But eventually there was a store robbery, and they said, you're good to go, and I could leave. And I actually from there on, I just drove exact the speed limit and stuff because I really didn't want to get in trouble.
Right.
And at some point, I met Kelsey, and she did something crazy, and I got pulled over, and I remember Ricky pulling me over. And he said as a joke, like, "Oh, hey, this is this girl. She has a warrant. She did something with Kelsey." And I was like, "Oh no, I gotta flee because they don't know my name, right?" So I didn't think about it through, but
Yeah.
and I just fled, and it took 10 seconds, and I flew out of my car because I forgot my seatbelt. And Ricky comes up to me and he says, "I was just joking. You didn't even have a warrant, but now you're going to jail." And I was like, "Oh no." But I don't know. Like it's depends on the officer, but like Ricky, I just I love to annoy him.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. So essentially, Ricky, if I'm hearing this right, Ricky is the reason that we have Robin because you kind of decided, you know what, I want to make a new character and I want this character to be like a supervillain.
Well, I made Robin with the idea that she's gonna be like this criminal that nobody knows. Like she can get away with everything, but it went all wrong from the point that I got that joke from the joke on it. Just everything went wrong.
That's funny. All right, so for you, all right, tell me this, because you are a notorious criminal. Now you have other characters. You have a police character that you're running as well. And what's her name?
Okay.
Okay, Chey. And then you have another character, but I think the most notorious one is Robin, and it is a crim character. So for you, what makes I want to ask two questions, and then you can answer both. First one is, what to you makes the good qualities of a crim character? So if somebody's in the stream and they're watching and they're like, "Yo, I just got in the city. I really want to be a crim character. You're pretty notorious. I think you have a you could lend a voice to what makes a good crim character. But then the other side of that is what makes good crim role play. And I think there are two different things because there's one thing from running from the police, but then there's a different part of having good role play. How would you answer that?
Um. But like, if you wanted to be like
Yeah,
get
like
people to know you, like if you want people to get to know you, I would like rob a bank or something because there will be people showing up and they will get to know you because they have to talk to you.
yeah,
But I think like the role play part is like, say I'm getting in a 1080, somebody's like following me, police chase, and I crash and they caught me. I I get annoying. Like I start running. Or I just start tackling cops and like you can hear them scream because they're irritated. But yeah, for me it's I think it's the conversation. I'm like if I'm in a car with a CO, I'm always asking, "Do you like karaoke?" And I'm just gonna start singing. Like I think it depends on with who you are and like yeah.
okay, all right. Who is the most challenging police officer for you to run from?
Willard, he scares me.
Okay. All right. What about what? Why does he scare you? What about him scares you?
Well, I remember um the first time I kind of met Willard and he was like kind of cool and stuff. And at some point you started hearing more about Robin, of course. And at some point I got 600 months, which was 10 hours. And I got out and I remember Willard saying, "The next time you're going to jail, you're getting 1600 months." And from there on, I just was like, "I'm staying away from that man, far away."
Nice. All right. All right. So this is a little bit different question. Um, what is your favorite? What is your favorite criminal thing to do in the city?
Annoying cops.
Okay. Because I have heard, and I've heard Ricky say this, and I've heard other people say, I've heard other cops say it that they have heard you, they've pulled you over, and they have heard you laugh, and then just turned around and got back in the car and said, "Nope, not even messing with that today."
Yep.
What are you thinking? Like, are you cracking up? Are you like, "Oh man, I was really hoping to get into something right there"? What are you thinking when that happens?
Well, the amount of times, say I was with Ashley driving around, right? Um, and like we were already laughing about something, and then a cop shows up, and something happens, and we're just starting to laugh, and you see the cop getting out, and we're laughing, right? And he just turns around and goes, "Well, we're laughing even harder after that because yeah, you just got away with going 120 for laughing."
Yeah, yeah. Well, when you carry the reputation that you have, yeah, that kind of stuff happens because they're like, you know what, that speeding charge not even worth what I'm about to go through.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. Um, all right, so you've had a lot of scenarios. You've had a lot of laughs. You have friends that are in the server. What are some of the funniest or most memorable stories? Do you have like a couple of stories that you could think of that you're like, man, I'll never forget when that happened. It was hilarious.
I have so many, and like with Ashley and Michaela, like if we're doing things, we're always like making moments that, like, if somebody would see, they would cry about laughter. But I think like the funniest thing was I was with um Ashley and David,
Okay.
um and I saw this TikTok where like somebody was fleeing from the cops, and he stopped like halfway down the hill, and then the cars flew over it, and I was like, we should try that out. So I asked Brian or David to like try that, and he drove into her car and flew out, and like the locals kept going, so we just kept. I said, you know what, we're just gonna take every local out, and we just took every local out. And it was like this pile of cars from locals, and like people were flying over cars and people were dying, and it was just hilarious. I was literally crying.
That's funny. That's hilarious. I think I actually saw. I think B Hawk posted a TikTok of that, didn't
Yeah, he did.
he? Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny. That was a funny clip. That was a great video. All right, what else? Any other really funny stories you could think of that kind of stand out to you?
I have so many, like it's like the small things, like like just driving around, and like I was driving around with Ashley or something, and out of the nowhere we drive into something and we both fly out. I remember this once that me and Ashley were on the island, and we were having a discussion about something. Like it was like we were like talking and having this discussion, and we drove by a gas tank, and I by accident drove into it, and it was like this silence for 2 seconds, and after that we just broke out laughing so hard. Like it's really the small things.
That's fun. Yeah, and it is the small things because you have the big things. You have the big memories and the funny car pileups and all that kind of stuff, flying out of the windows. All that kind of stuff is hilarious, and you laugh about it. But it's also, I think it's the small things. It's the riding around. It's the hanging out. It's the conversations that happen that really connect people, and that to me is one of the special things about the city that I really like. All right, you ready to get in some questions from the chat?
Yeah,
You nervous? You excited?
let them hear.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's see what we can get. Let's see what we can get. Well, all right. This is an easy question. Lady Assault, who are your favorite ladies in the city?
Ashley and Michaela, 100%.
Yeah, and when we interviewed Lady Assault, she talked about how you guys spend a lot of times in chats and just hanging out together.
Yeah, we
You three
do.
do that.
Yeah, just in the morning or something that we're just gonna hang out and just talk about something, or Michaela doing her makeup and Ashley having meetings in the meantime.
I like it. All right. Somebody asked, why do you give Mason so much trouble?
I give everybody trouble.
It's just part of it, right?
It's part of Robin.
I like it. I like it. Um, Ashley says, "What is your cat's name?"
It's it's boof. But it means teeth, as in a rubber. But Ashley thought that was teeth, as in tooth, right? So she's been thinking that my cat was named for teeth, but it was a rubber. Like it's stupid.
All right. I knew there was a story by the way that you responded to that question. I knew that there was absolutely a story that was there.
There it
Um,
is.
all right, let's see. All right. Um, choo, 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 choo. All right, here's a good question. What is other than yourself? What is your favorite criminal in the city? Can you think of anybody that's like, or like you watch them and you're like, yo, that's a really good crim character? Anybody that stands out to you?
I just like everybody's everybody, right? I don't really have a, like somebody special or something.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. Choo, choo, choo. I'm looking through these questions here. So Behawk, and I think you may have answered this question. He said, "What's the hardest that you have laughed at one scene in the city?"
The car Paul,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. I figured that we had to hit that question because I remember seeing that video. Um, is Ricky the root of all your criminal activity? Is he the way that you, or is he the reason you are what you are?
Partly.
I love it. All right. Ricky. Oh, hold on. No, let's see. Turtle asks, "Who's your favorite superintendent?"
Turtle.
Yeah, that's an easy one. That's an easy breezy. That was a softball there, Turtle. You was throwing softballs right there, bro. All right, let's see. How many times Fast Traveler says? How many times a night do you have to call EMS?
Too much. Too much.
All right. So, and you may not know the exact number, but if you had to put a number, what is the most that you've ever had to call EMS in one night?
So I had this one time I flew in and there was no EMS in, and I had already in like half an hour I had already checked in 6 times. And
Holy.
then when yeah, and then when EMS came in, it just kept getting worse. Eventually, I was in for like 3 hours, and I think I've called them maybe 10, 11 times, something like that. It was everything just went wrong that day.
I like it. So Robin is, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I may be wrong about this, but currently Robin is kind of in hiding. Is that true?
She is.
So,
I,
and why is that?
well, the 16 months. Withered has said at some point he said to me, "Well, it doesn't count really anymore." But I don't trust it. I don't want to fall for it. So I'm keeping Robin a bit hidden right now.
Okay, and so you have your police character Chey. How do you like the
Hmm.
police side of things? How are you? Because you kind of just started that. Is that true? You kind of just got
Uh,
into the police side.
yeah, I'm still on probation.
So how do you like that? It's kind of learning that process, learning that role. Are you enjoying that?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it very much. But I do hate talking over the radio. I really, it just scares me.
Okay. All right. What do you prefer? I mean, I know you've got more experience running a Crim character than you do a Leo character, but which one do you prefer at this point?
Grim, still grim.
I got you. What do you think is, and I like this question. I think because you have a police character as well, you can speak to this. What do you think is more challenging? Do you think it's more challenging being a Crim and getting away from the police, or do you think it's more challenging being a Leo character and catching a Crim?
Getting away. 100%. I'm a terrible driver, so getting away. Cause I'm already stressed, and
Yeah.
then I have to like run and like just not doesn't go well together.
Hi. So I think this is interesting because I've heard you say several times and talk several times, and they ask questions several times about you constantly having to go to the EMS. However, they also always say every Leo character says that you are one of the most challenging criminals in the city. Why do you think that is? What do you like? How does that happen? Where you're like, yo, I can't even drive.
Roma is kind of stupid to say it like that, because if you tell her to shoot somebody, she will do it. Like she just I kind of made her with the thought like she doesn't care for anything. So if you tell her to tackle that cop, she will tackle that cop and stuff like that. I think that's the part. Like saying a cop is like talking to somebody, pulling somebody over, and Robin just stops by and just tackles the cop and runs away. Like yeah,
I
I
like it.
think that's the challenging part about Robin. Like she can be so annoying.
I like it. All right. So tell me this. What kind of start closing with two questions, two more thoughts. The first one is this: we've had a lot of new people in our city, in our server recently. Tons of new people. Actually, I heard Officer Messer say, I think on the last stream that he did, they had like 100 new applications come through over that weekend, like that period of time. Um, so we've got a lot of new people. What advice? What would you tell someone that is just getting into the city? Maybe they've wandered into the stream. What kind of advice would you give to somebody that's new coming into the city? What would you tell them?
I would just like start driving around, see some things, make some friends, and like see where you end up, right?
Yeah.
Because yeah, because
Oh,
running around alone is fun, but at some point it's gonna be lonely. So like make friends and stuff like that.
yeah, and I think that's key. Is it's finding your tribe, so to speak. It's finding your like your group of people and who you can ride around with, um, and I think you just start finding out where people are. Go hang out at the Yellow Jack. Go hang out at the casino. Wherever it is that people are gathered, and that's part of the game too. Is to trying to figure out where people are gathering.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's kind of wrap up with this last question here, and it is, what is it that you love about TARP? So to that same group of people that are new, or maybe to somebody that is, they're thinking about getting into GTA RP. What is it about TARP, the Academy, that connects you to it? Why should someone join it? What makes it such a special place for you? What is that?
I think for me, me myself, like say you have uh, a bad day, you fly in and you get to be this other person, right? That you can play with and do whatever you want. Um, or just say you have a great day and you would just feel like let's do something right now, and you're just gonna sit down and you just fly in, and there's somebody that comes up to you and is like, hey, want to do something? And I think that's what I love about Tarp. Like it's very open. Like if you walk up to a group, nobody would walk away. We're all gonna be like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, yeah, no, and I think that is, and I think that's, um, I remember being brand new, very similar to your story. I didn't know how to walk. I didn't know how to, I didn't know anything about that, and just found a group of people, and they just I really thought they were going to rob me. I thought everybody I talked to, the whole thing, every person I talked to when I first came in the city, I thought they were trying to kill me and rob me. And I was like, they're going to be real disappointed because I don't have anything to take. Um, but it wasn't like that at all. It was very cool. It was very, how can I help you? How long have you been here? Oh, you're new. Let me help you out. And so I love that part of our community. It's
Yeah,
very
me too.
very opening, very welcome, and so I think that's a really cool thing. So, well, awesome. Well, Chey, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
No, I appreciate it. I know it's late. I know for you, late is normal, but I appreciate you jumping in here and hanging out with us and kind of sharing the ways of a master, if you'll allow me to say that, of a Krim character, and so just kind of sharing your story and talking about your horse and your cat and all that kind of good stuff. So thank you so
Oh,
much, and I look forward to seeing you in the city, ma'am.
for sure.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. No. Thank you. Have a great one. I appreciate you.